Some people don't leave when they're done. They stay. They keep showing up, they keep answering messages, they keep sitting at the same table. From the outside, nothing looks broken, but something essential is already missing. Not because of a fight, not because of betrayal, not because of a single moment. It happens slowly, quietly, almost politely. And that's what makes it so hard to recognize. Emotionally leaving doesn't look dramatic. It doesn't look like anger. It doesn't look like cruelty. Most of the time, it looks like calm. A calm that feels distant. Because when someone checks out emotionally, they don't want conflict anymore. They don't want long conversations. They don't want to explain how they feel. They don't want to be understood. They want less. Less emotion, less responsibility, less connection. And to maintain that distance without confrontation, a few sentences begin to appear. They sound harmless, reasonable, even mature. But together, they tell a different story. Think of emotional presence like light inside a room. When someone wants to leave completely, they turn the light off. But when someone wants to stay without being there, they dim it. A little less light each day. A little less warmth. A little less attention, until the room is still occupied but no longer alive. These sentences are the dimmer switch. Sentence 1. I'm just tired. This is the most common one. The safest one, the least questioned, because no one argues with tiredness. Tiredness ends conversations, postpones emotional closeness, suspends expectations. But most of the time, this isn't physical exhaustion, it's emotional fatigue. The fatigue of being present, of listening deeply, of caring enough to respond. When someone keeps saying, I'm just tired, what they often mean is, I don't have the energy to be here anymore. Not in the room, but in the relationship. Sentence 2, it's nothing. This sentence sounds small, but it closes doors. It's nothing is what people say when they don't want to be seen, not because nothing is happening, but because they don't want to share what is. Over time, this sentence teaches the other person to stop asking, to stop checking, to stop reaching, and slowly, curiosity turns into distance. Sentence 3, we'll talk later. This one creates hope without presence. It's not a refusal, but it's not engagement either. Later sounds responsible, but later often never arrives. And when it does, it comes empty, without depth, without care. This sentence keeps the relationship suspended, not alive, not finished, just waiting. Sentence 4, I don't want to argue. At first, it sounds mature, peaceful, balanced, but often it's not about avoiding conflict, it's about avoiding emotional contact. Because sometimes arguments aren't about winning, they're about being seen. When someone no longer wants to argue, they often no longer want to invest. Sentence 5. You're overthinking it. This sentence shifts the focus. Instead of addressing the distance, it makes the other person question their perception, their feelings, their instincts. It quietly says, the problem isn't what's happening, it's the way you're feeling about it. And confusion replaces clarity. Sentence 6. I need some space. Space can be healthy, but space without intention becomes distance. When there are no boundaries, no clarity, no direction, space often means I'm pulling away but I don't want to explain why. Sentence 7. I don't know what I want. This is the final sentence, the most honest one and the most painful. Because many times they do know, they just don't want to carry the weight of saying it out loud. This sentence keeps everything open while everything is already decided inside. Here is the quiet truth few people admit. Emotionally checking out is easier than emotionally ending things. It allows someone to stay without showing up, to disconnect without confrontation, to avoid guilt while increasing distance. And the person on the other side starts adapting. They ask less,
expect less, shrink themselves, hoping the connection will return. But what they're really doing is negotiating with absence. The pain doesn't come from distance alone. It comes from uncertainty, from being physically together while emotionally alone, from wondering if you're asking for too much when all you want is presence. If any of these sentences felt familiar, pause. Not to judge anyone, not to defend yourself, just notice. If you feel ready, share in the comments. Which sentence felt the closest to your experience and from which side? Sometimes naming what was never said is the first step toward clarity. Not every goodbye is loud. Some happen quietly, inside ordinary days, wrapped in harmless words. If this kind of reflection stayed with you, this space might be for you. Subscribe, not for answers, not for motivation, but for honesty, for awareness, for truths that don't rush and don't pretend.